Vivienne Jolie-Pitt has just turned 17 alongside her twin brother, Knox, marking an important milestone in the coming-of-age journey of a young woman born under Hollywood's relentless camera flashes. Yet what drew public attention was not only the significance of turning 17, but the absence of Brad Pitt, the father who once cradled her on the red carpet, from this special day entirely. There was no shared photograph, no complete family moment, only Vivienne, Knox, and Angelina Jolie celebrating together. To the public, this was more than a simple absence. It was a sign of the widening distance between Brad and his children, particularly the youngest generation of the family. The question lingers in the minds of anyone who has followed this family. Why would a father said to love his children so deeply be absent on such a special day? Was it merely a scheduling coincidence, or a sign that the distance between them has grown too wide? Vivienne is not an ordinary young woman. Born at the very center of Hollywood spotlight, she has been followed by the press since her earliest days. To many fans, she is the female version of Brad Pitt, from her deep blue eyes and straight nose, to her half-smile that exudes charm. As a child, she was radiant in her father's presence. Golden hair catching the light on red carpets, tiny hands gripping Brad's large ones. But the nearly 8-year-long divorce between Brad and Angelina changed everything. The days of whole family appearances gave way to rare, scattered images, and the space between father and daughter widened like a crack that could not be mended. Since the divorce, Brad Pitt has not been photographed with any of his children, not even with his only biological son, Knox Pitt. Vivienne has grown up under constant public attention, yet she has chosen a different path. She is not loud on social media, nor does she leverage her parents' fame to rush into the spotlight. Instead, at 17, she appeared in the stage production The Outsiders as an assistant producer, a quiet role that demands precision and responsibility. And on the playbill, audiences did not see Vivienne Jolie-Pitt, but simply Vivienne Jolie. A small change on paper, yet in this context it reads like a declaration: I am myself, not just someone's child. While Vivienne and Knox celebrated their birthday with Angelina, Brad was alongside his younger girlfriend, promoting his new film. More recently, Brad Pitt is said to be enduring a profound loss. His mother, Jane Etta Pitt, passed away at the age of 84. Beloved by family and friends alike, she was known for creating special day traditions for her 14 grandchildren. Her passing in early August was a blow even for a seasoned star like Brad, a wound that words could not ease. Though his girlfriend, Inez de Ramon, has been by his side to share the grief, losing a mother he so deeply respected has left his heart hollow. The image of Brad now is a blend of two sorrows: the visible pain of losing his mother, and the quiet ache of growing distant from the most beautiful daughter in the family. The one who most closely resembles him, yet is quietly drifting away. Vivienne's appearance remains an invisible bridge. Anyone looking at her sees the young Brad Pitt in her eyes, in her smile. But the path Vivienne is taking is entirely her own. Quiet, independent, and focused on building her identity without leaning on her father's fame. At this moment, the father-daughter relationship feels like a bridge left unfinished. Each event, one birthday without a father, one loss without a daughter, pulling the two ends further apart. Vivienne steps into her 17th year with beauty and intelligence admired by many, but more importantly, with a growing sense of self. Brad, in his early 60s, is facing the reality that the bond between father and child is no longer what it once was, while also carrying the fresh grief of a son who has just lost his mother. Brad Pitt may now have to be apart from his children forever. The reason is not because of a new legal battle or a sudden scandal, but because of something that might sound positive at first: the removal of restrictions on his child custody rights. It may seem illogical, because most people would think that once these restrictions are lifted, Brad would have more opportunities to be closer to his children. However, the reality is opening up a completely different scenario. Angelina Jolie may now be able to leave Los Angeles at any time, taking the children with her to another place. To understand why this could become the greatest threat to Brad's connection with his children, we need to look back at the bigger picture of the past 8 years. Since Angelina filed for divorce in 2016, the custody battle has been a focus of global media. During that time, Brad was subjected to many restrictions, including supervised visitation, scheduled contact, and geographic conditions, meaning the children had to live mainly in Los Angeles. Now, with these restrictions removed, the law no longer requires Angelina to remain in Los Angeles. According to several close sources, she has long been planning to leave the city, especially after the twins Vivienne and Knox turn 18 in the summer of 2026. Moving abroad, whether to Paris, London, or any other destination, would allow Angelina and the children to avoid the constant spotlight of Hollywood, while giving them what she believes is a healthier environment. But for Brad, we cannot overlook the fact that Brad's relationship with several of his children has already cooled to a worrying degree. Maddox, the eldest son, is believed to have had no contact with Brad for years. Pax, the second son, has reportedly sent private messages criticizing his father harshly. With the younger group, including Zahara, Shiloh, and the twins, interaction has also become less frequent. Vivienne's decision to drop Pitt from her name when joining the stage production The Outsiders was not just an artistic choice. It has been viewed by the public as a symbolic reflection of emotional distance. In this context, if Angelina leaves Los Angeles, it would almost close the door on any chance for reconciliation. This is not only about geography. With thousands of kilometers between them, Brad's presence in the daily lives of his children would drop to almost zero. There would be no more short weekend visits, no possibility of attending their events in person, and no opportunity to be directly involved in small but meaningful decisions during their growing years. Such a distance, once established, is very hard to reverse, because children grow quickly, and 1 or 2 years apart during their teenage years can create a permanent gap. This is also a story about power dynamics in a post-divorce family. Angelina, as the primary caregiver for many years, holds a clear advantage in shaping the children's living environment and future. Even though Brad has been freed from heavy legal restrictions, he remains in a passive position when it comes to major decisions. The removal of custody restrictions may mean freedom for both sides in legal terms, but in reality, it gives Angelina the power to move without being limited by Brad's visitation rights. Ironically, Brad is currently going through another deep personal loss. His mother, Jane Etta Pitt, passed away at the age of 84, leaving a huge emotional void. At a time when he needs emotional connection the most, the prospect of losing his daily presence in his children's lives makes the picture even more bleak. For a father, this is not just a loss, it is the helplessness of seeing the last thread of connection at risk of being severed. If Angelina does leave Los Angeles, the question is, how will Brad react? Will he try to negotiate, or will he accept that his relationship with his children will now only exist through video calls and rare in-person meetings? And more importantly, how will the children, who have grown up between two very different worlds, feel when this distance becomes a fixed part of their lives? This story is not just the tragedy of a famous family. It reflects the harsh reality for many families after divorce. Decisions about where to live, where to study, and which environment to grow up in can, intentionally or unintentionally, reshape the entire parent-child relationship. For Brad Pitt, this freedom in legal terms could mean the greatest loss of his life, the loss of the chance to truly be present during his children's formative years.